Hey, yo, Pharrell Williams told you and Oprah that he's new black, which pretty much means get rich and sound stupid. I don't know if you got an opportunity chance, but Pharrell was in Miami speaking at the fifth annual Black Ambition demo when he was on stage, and evidently politics came up, and he had this to say.
The wells are drying up, and okay, now the diversity's off the table, now equity's off the table, now inclusion's off the table. So that makes me ask myself, okay, so how do we survive? Well, other black people hear that tonight? And in your heart, do you think what it is that you do and who you are, do you think you're the best? Yeah. Okay, so do you want the job because you're black or because you're the best? Do you want someone to support your startup because you're black or because you're the best? Right, so I think now for me it's about us having the best ambition, the ambition of the best. That's the reason why you should support these businesses. Yes, they happen to be black and brown, but it should be based on the thesis that we're the best, not because we are a total shade of the skin color.
Yeah, we got to stop asking certain people certain things, or hold them accountable, or just boot them off the stage altogether. The thing that really annoys me is the fact that Pharrell actually took the time to attack DEI. He asked black people in the room, don't you want to be selected because of your ambition, because you're the best of the best, not because you're black? And it drives me insane. No matter how many times DEI keeps being explained that it's not about hiring me just because I'm black. It's about broadening the perspective and covering your blind spots to have you be able to diversify an organization, an employer, so that you can actually look at the qualified people and create that pool. People like Pharrell keep wanting to go on to this lazy narrative that is simply about giving you a job and making you feel like it's a handout because you're black. And you know what? If I wanted to have the fantasy that I'm being hired because I'm black, I'm allowed to have that if I actually technically wanted to, considering that this country finds a way to punish me simply because I'm black. But I digress. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. Geniuses who are geniuses in one thing does not mean that they are wise in everything. We got to stop with this whole thing when it comes to people who are financially successful, that somehow we want to go to them and think that they're going to be successful and mindful and wise when it comes to certain subjects. I really wish that some of these celebrities would just go out their way to say, I don't know. But we know what I do not like is the stereotype of attacking the negative narrative that somehow us black people are not where we at because we didn't work hard enough or because we didn't want to be the best of the best. No, we wanted somewhat a handout. And that's what that attitude and that statement that Pharrell said on stage, that's what it gives me. It gives me that. Instead of you actually want to go dive into a book or go to your own phone and actually understand what DEI is or talk to some of them celebrity people who can actually give you that understanding, you chose to actually make a stand. But you know what? I am not disappointed. We as a collective need to stop being disappointed in people like a Pharrell, because people like him will never ever support radical ideas for change or radical laws for change. They will never have energy against the oppressor or those systematic things that we know for a fact that have held black people back or people of color back that has been documented. No, they won't support that type of thing. People like Pharrell, that kind of support will also disrupt their fantasy, not just their money, but their fantasy. The fantasy that they had in their own mind, that they came up in this world simply because of their gifts and they were the best and they are legends. And you know what? Pharrell is a legend. Pharrell is where he is because of those gifts. He is very much so special. But you know what else, Pharrell? You also happen to make a lot of white folks happy.